Hey everybody, happy Friday. Welcome to the Pulver Report. We're going to change up the name from the weekly outlook to the weekly recap. It is now the Pulver Report. Bringing it back. Had that going a couple of years ago, and I like it. It's stuck. Little shout out to my good man Stephen Colbert. We could go with the Pulver Report. But nevertheless, it's 9 o'clock on the 30th of April. Happy end of the month, everybody. Let's go ahead and talk about some stocks, forex, cryptos. We are live. Let's rock and roll. I'm going to get into some charts this morning. We've got some earnings plays for my equities on demand class that should be looking pretty solid. I think Twitter is going to be hitting some max profits this morning, which is nice. We've got some management trades for earnings report ANTM, a little power play on Johnson & Johnson. We also have Western Digital, Weyerhaeuser, and Charter Communications. I don't think we got filled yesterday on, but we'll talk about a lot of stuff. Forex-wise, we had FOMC this week. We had Biden give a little speech Wednesday night. So let's get to it, shall we? If you're out there, say hi. I am live on the old YouTube. Nice to see everybody. Good morning, Gary. Good morning, Chris. Good morning, Denise. Nice to see everybody. All right, let's get into the charts. Before we do, we understand there's risk in trading. Please and always use trade capital only. Do not trade with money you cannot afford to lose. If you're trading stocks, options, futures, forex, cryptocurrencies, doesn't matter what asset class it is. Please trade the risk capital only, and you understand the risks. All right, equities on demand, very busy class, live trading sessions, trackers, spreadsheets. We do a lot of the work for you. We do a lot of the heavy lifting for you. We're teaching traders that, have knowledge, know knowledge, and traders making some pretty good profits alongside myself and Tyson Clayton Monday through Friday, which is excellent. If you're following me out there on social media, I did change some of the names. I was getting a lot of imposters, I suppose, on Twitter and Instagram. I was getting some fake accounts opening up with my name and likeness, so I just went ahead and made it official. At Real Chris Pulver on Instagram and Twitter and Twitch and TikTok. YouTube, you can still follow me, youtube.com/Chris Pulver. Okay. Very nice. Denise said we did a bonus session yesterday, or bonus section yesterday. Jumpstart for options. Fantastic. I hope it went well. Hopefully you were able to answer a lot of questions. Viraj, good morning. And again, thank you and Michael for both doing that. That's excellent. Let's see. Jerry, what's happening? Jerry, good morning. Terry, good morning. Chris, good morning. Kathy, what's happening? Nice to see everybody. Hopefully you've taken a look at some of my playlists out there for trading stocks and options. A variety of brokers out there from Thinkorswim to TD Ameritrade's web platform, E-Trade, Fidelity, Charles Schwab, and Street Smart Edge. A couple other ones I'll be doing I'm looking at, I did Fidelity. I posted that on YouTube. Let me cross one off my list for this week. I'm going to do Webull and Robinhood. I'm actually going to explore Robinhood on their option permissions because we have some traders in our equities on demand account or a class that said that Robinhood level 3 or level 4, you can start setting those limit debits and limit credits, which makes a big difference. And I'm still trying to figure out why Webull with level 4 permissions is not easier to use. Also, Interactive Brokers, TradeStation, Tastyworks, those will be videos come into that playlist. Again, that's just part of my channel. I'll look at some of those playlists in addition to my Keep It Seriously Simple, which I will have a video on just options, buying puts, buying calls, options in general, contract assignments, obligations, stuff like that. If you just want the basic information of trading options, it's, again, equities on demand, it's an interesting class, but working with Tyson, I can see why he has said for years, if you learn how to trade options, you never really want to trade anything else. And like I said, maybe it's because the way that I trade Forex is very passive. The way that I trade Forex is kind of as an investor. I essentially don't put any pressure myself from January to December. I just trade to be profitable. So I have plenty of time trading Forex. I don't rush anything. I just trade good setups, and I build positions, and I add to my winning trades. That's my Forex trading. Stocks, I've been a long-term stock trader for a long time. Dividends, reinvestments, compounding, accumulation. But getting into equities on demand, launching this course, launching this trading room, it's pretty fun. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like it's fun to have stuff going every single day. It's a little wild and crazy to make sure you can keep things under wraps because we have multiple strategies, but that's why we get to spend so much time together every single day. Okay. Also, the trading indicators. I have not been able to put any new videos out, but I'm getting there. I just keep getting asked, like, can you do this video? Can you do this video? So I'll get there. And what I'll probably end up doing on trading indicators is I might end up catering more towards like Instagram, TikTok, some of those other social media outlets. But if I do a video on this one, I'm trying to make it like 5 to 10 minutes maximum. So anyway, I'll get to it. But let's get into the chart, shall we? So pre-market, I want to take a look. Right now, it's just after 9 o'clock. I think Twitter this morning has an awesome opportunity for us in equities on demand to hit full profit. So we were looking at a higher level around 72.56 and a lower level around 57.54, and you can see that pre-market is 56.70. So if you were with me in class yesterday, we did set up Twitter, and we were filled. Let me check our fill trade on Twitter. 5.20 was our limit debit that we get filled on for the earnings straddle. And our profit level, we're looking anywhere from $6.08 to potentially full target this morning is 6.76. So if you have that limit credited into the broker platform, hopefully that's enough to make some dollars today on Twitter. And if so, that would be about, look, let's just say we get to the 90%. Let's say we get to like, what is that, 88 cents. I mean, that's $88 a contract. So if you had, one contract, you're making just shy of $100. You've got 5 contracts in, you're making, over $400. Like, that's pretty good money for literally a trade that took a day. Not even. We took the trade yesterday morning, and here we are, before the market opens today. Hopefully this will limit us out, and it'll make some nice cash on Twitter today. We also have WY Weyerhaeuser. This was at the money. Let me go to this one here. So we were at the money at 39.50 and closed yesterday at 39.64. We're pre-market 38.72. So it's going to be important to see this one. Nice little gap lower is excellent. If we end up continuing lower, that would be fantastic to allow us to, again, hopefully see some max profit on WY. And then WDC. WDC, we were in this one. This is Western Digital. We were in around 4.22. The at the money was $71, and we have a pre-market open higher at 74.15. So again, if we pre-market higher, get back to this previous high, can we get a little bit higher? If we get a little bit higher and push through 76, we should also be looking for some max profit on WDC, right? And so this is why we made a little compromise this week with we call it the 90%, kind of the compromise target. Because it may not be full profit where we've not hit a lot of full profit trades on our earnings straddles. So what we're looking for instead is, instead of managing, the call side only, the put side only, leaving one side open, and sometimes it's expiring worthless or it's washing some of the profits, we're looking for more of a 90% compromise, which means we're not quite hitting full targets. We're not quite hitting maximum profits, but we're 90% of the way there. And so it allows us to, take the trade, place the limit credit in or the profit level with the broker, and hopefully have the broker close us out at those levels and make us some bucks. Just easier maintenance for us, and that way I think a lot of traders will enjoy trading some of these option plays with us. Okay, all right. Who else we got here? Good stuff. Yep. Morning, Bill. Good morning, Todd. Morning, Ed. Nice to see everybody. Aggie. Good morning, Joe. Good morning. Working hard for us. Thanks, Ed. I appreciate all the shout outs like that. Thumbs up, getting smashed. I love it. All right, thanks. So that is WDC, also CHTR, that's Charter Communications. This one was pretty expensive yesterday. If anybody did get filled, I think Tyson did get filled on this one around 23.90. Again, that would have cost about $2,300 or just shy of $2,400. But he did get filled at 23.90, which is a little bit higher than what we wanted. Our spreadsheet, I pretty much made the executive decision in class to not get filled anything higher than 23.25. So that limit debit did not fill. I'm not in Charter, but Tyson is at 23.90. So I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the numbers for him. 23.90. Okay, if you take a look at this is our earnings spreadsheet here for equities on demand. He was filled at 23.90, and it still has a pretty solid profit factor. If you go to the 20, we calculated the 90% level. So, I mean, he can still make some bucks on this. If it's 23.90 and he's got a 90% target hit at 28.63, that's still pretty solid. Let's say he hits it, 28.63. 28.63 minus 23.9. I mean, that's pretty darn good. If that's one contract, that is not too shabby. So let's say one contract only $473 divided by the 2390 it took to get in. Let's see here. What was that? 28.63 minus 23.90. Okay, 4.73. So 4.73 divided by 23.9. That's still a 19.7% profit. So it's not bad. I did not chase this one. When we were looking at the mid prices yesterday, it was already like $24 to $25. I didn't want to chase it. So I'm happy for Tyson. He got filled. I hope it pays out for him and we can continue to track that one. We are going to take probably a loss today on ANTM. Comes to the territory. This one, we end up closing out the call side a little bit early. The put side didn't cooperate. We'll close out this one today for a small loss. Intel, we have the call side still open. This is a wash because we did max out on the put side, so this would be a bit of a wash today. If anyone's holding DFS or BX, those will expire worthless today. So, look, we've had a great run. I'll show you our little spreadsheet here in our trade tracker. We've had a pretty amazing run on our earnings plays. So I know that I'm talking a lot of options here this morning. We'll get into Forex and cryptos as well. But look, we have killed it on earnings this season. And really, we haven't had many of these earnings plays hit us for our max profit. We've done a pretty amazing job of managing the call side only, the put side only, having one in profit, managing the other one to a small credit, but pretty stellar. And we did take a small loss. Whirlpool just didn't cooperate. We did roll that one into a put side only, so we'll talk about that one in class today at 10 o'clock. But overall, even with the loss on Whirlpool, and again, that was only one side, but we did take a loss on Whirlpool. We're still up 286% in the last 24 trades. So pretty incredible. And like I said, we're going to take a small loss today on ANTM. Not a big deal. But if we max out for Twitter, that'll be a sweet little gain. If we have WDC and WY and Charter, if Tyson can nab a little win there. So he's in on Charter at 23.90 net debit. And that target is, let me go back to that spreadsheet. We're looking at Charter 31.82. 31.82 is going to be that full profit. And the 90% we noted is 28.62. So we're still on a great streak for our earnings plays. Our power plays are playing out nicely. We should have full profit this week or today on Lockheed Martin. That'll be another $75 win for everybody on one contract. So if you got in heavier, that's even better. We have a lot of fills running for the next couple of weeks on Power Play version 3, and I'm looking forward to that. So Johnson & Johnson, like I said, will be a small loss, but we took profit on Lyft. That was last week, actually. And then we have all of these open. Morgan Stanley hit profit today or this week. We have all of these open as well. GameStop is up like $100. FUTU is positive. Lockheed Martin is positive. Intel. I mean, we have time on all these. So these are going to be great. I think traders at the end of it are going to love these, passive income plays. And I certainly do as well. All right, let's get back to our charts, shall we? Let me get back to some questions here in case I missed anything. Let's see here. Morning, Sam. How are you? Where are you getting the pre-market data, Wayne? I'm using, this is TradingView. My charts are tradingview.com right here that I'm showing, so I have pre and post market. Also, if you're checking into your broker platform, some brokers will have real-time data as well. So my Schwab account with a Street Smart Edge gives me real-time feed. So does Thinkorswim. You can get real-time data that way as well. Okay. Mr. Good morning. Donna, Cheryl, good morning. All right. We're good on the stock stuff. So this week, let's do a quick recap here. So the SPY daily chart, it is 914. Pre-market is looking to gap a little bit lower on the SPY. Actually, quite a bit lower, like $2.50 lower. So that is kind of a concern. But again, probably much needed. Now, I said this week on Monday, if you join me on Monday, April could be pushing to the path of least resistance. We're in this kind of pre-summer push mode, and maybe we see a turnaround in May, for better, for worse. One thing I typically look for in the Forex market, April and May are good trending months, but we have seen some really extreme movements. Now, not like ridiculous trends, but just over the carryover from last year's, end of the year to the start of this year, we've just kept pushing. We're sideways. So we haven't really formed tops or bottoms, right? We haven't really formed those official tops and bottoms. We haven't corrected yet. And so I'm wondering on some of the setups I see on the Japanese yen, if that is a sign for some risk-off trading, the dollar as well, the dollar index looking for some risk-off trading, and if that times with this transition from April into May, right? We'll find out. So as we look at today's close, remember, it is the end of the month. So we come back to trade next Monday, and it is May 3rd, and we're officially starting a new month. One thing I'm going to look for is this little guy right here is a monthly pivot, and we have a weekly pivot, and we have a weekly pivot. And guess what? Next month, we're going to have a new monthly pivot. So if we have the low, the high, and the close, we're probably going to have another monthly pivot somewhere up here that price is going to want to find. And so I could see today or going into early next week, working our way back down into a new monthly pivot, and then either using that as support to then launch another, launch another rally to just keep pushing in May, or perhaps we end up breaking this trend line, which would really be a massive correction since we've had this low to this high, which seems a lot like a capitulation move. Okay, I mean, this is about a 9 to 10% rally on the SPY with no real pullbacks. Okay, the Dow Jones, very similar. From this low here, about a 10% rally. From this low down here, 305 to 340. That's a big rally, right? 340 minus 305 divided by 305. We're talking about 11.4% rally since March of this year on the Dow Jones. Look at the NASDAQ. We've had an 11 to 12% rally since the low in March. If you look at the IWM, the Russell, okay, same thing here. Russell has been trying to go higher. I have a chart alarm set at the high, at the low. Traders might be able to recognize a little pattern like this, right? You see how we have lows right here? We could have a topping pattern, okay, where again, maybe this is the right shoulder if we end up working our way back down to the neckline. Or maybe this is a bit more complicated where it ends up expanding and we have something like this, where it ends up coming back up here to the highs and then coming back down to the lows, and we're still going to be stuck in this kind of larger consolidation area like a lot of stocks are doing right now. If we take a look at some of the big ones, take a look at Facebook. Okay, now Facebook has blown off these highs. Okay, I think Facebook reported earnings this week, if I'm not mistaken. But yesterday's, I guess this would have been yesterday's candle. So they must have reported earnings Wednesday to Thursday. But from 307 to 320, I mean, again, Facebook just blowing it off. But do I think it comes back and fills the gap a little bit? Maybe, probably. Apple still have a lot of resistance here on the 140 handle on Apple. Okay, we've had a nice run, about 8 to 10% from this recent low in March. That's around 119, 120. Apple's all the way up to 133, looking for a slight gap lower. We've got 12 minutes for the open today. Amazon, which is working towards taking over the world and soon space. I know that Amazon's going to compete with NASA and Tesla, I guess, to occupy Mars and start delivering drones all over the world. So anyway, Amazon, resistance here, support here. So do we hit resistance and fall back down? Do we break and go higher? Does Amazon have the ability to sustain these new highs? We'll find out. But I think a lot of major stocks that are carrying the indices, think about the heavy market cap on the FANG stocks. Okay, now we talk FANG stocks. Remember, it's kind of FANG T-Man is now the new thing. So we have, let me make this a little bit bigger here. So we have FANG T-Man, right? So you have Facebook, you have Apple, you have Netflix, you have Google, you have Tesla, you have Microsoft, Amazon, and Nokia. I think those are the FANG T-Man stocks right there. So if you look at this collection right here, there's about 6 of these that make up almost 25 to 30% of the entire market cap of the S&P 500. So the rally that we've seen in the S&P, the rally that we've seen in the Dow, the rally that we've seen in even, not so much the NASDAQ too, because this is also benefiting the tech sector. Russell's a little bit different, right? Russell's probably doing better just because we have some recovery. We have some returning to business. We have, businesses reopening, states reopening in the U.S. But this is a massive concentration of, where most of the money sits in the S&P is in a handful of stocks. So, I'm not saying that these stocks can't continue to do well, but it's pretty misleading to think that everything is recovering when, if you look at stocks across the board, not everything is performing this way. So that's my one kind of skepticism of how this recovery really looks. All right. So anyway, that's my 2 cents there. Hopefully we'll see some profits here in the next 10 minutes on Twitter. I'm watching my P&L on that one closely. Hopefully the broker will close me out on both sides. I got 2 contracts in, and I'd love to make some bucks today on Twitter. And we'll keep an eye on those other ones, WDC, WY. I didn't get filled on charter, so that one's done. And then we have some management to talk about today in Equities on Demand. Okay. All right, let's go into some cryptos really quickly. Let's go Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is sitting at 54,621, still fighting. I have a chart alarm set at the high above 65,000. Chart alarm set at the low at 47.2. So I just want to see what happens next. Do we break the highs or not? My concern, technically, is that we have hit a rising wedge and we have broken the structure. So I think that Bitcoin right now is going to struggle to take out these highs. I think what we have instead is maybe a little bit of a fight to the upside, a failure, and then Bitcoin ends up coming back down. Now, it depends on how fast this behaves. If this is like a massive drop, which we know that cryptos are volatile, they can be very volatile. But if this is a massive drop and a fast drop, then we're looking for this area to potentially offer some support, or we start switching gears into some type of corrective channel. All right. So keep an eye out for that. But if we don't break these highs, I think Bitcoin is going to struggle at these current prices and stay fairly sideways. Ethereum has been the little crypto that can, because it's breaking new highs. It's still breaking new highs. I like Ethereum a lot. I wish I'd be able to add more to it. I'm still waiting for some dips to add more. There's some pretty solid structure on the chart. So if Ethereum can show us any signs of, a dip towards, let's say, 2,200 or a dip towards 2,000, I would be willing to add some more at those levels, and just see this kind of play out where it makes a high, pulls back, makes a high, pulls back, makes a high, pulls back. Let's see how long we can stay in that type of bullish channel. Okay, Litecoin looks a lot like Bitcoin. Okay, Litecoin, high to low, struggling to make up the highs. It actually had quite the sell-off, but still some really good structure here. Lots of support on Litecoin. I could see this if it doesn't break the structure here, if it doesn't end up breaking down and breaking this channel, I could see Litecoin staying here, seeing some profits, coming back down, adding more, seeing some profits, and just see how long the structure plays out. Okay, some other ones, LINK-USD. This one's actually doing pretty well, recovering nearly to the highs. We're at highs around $44, and it's currently trading at 38.70. EOS is another one that I'm involved in. This is at 6.28, decent recovery off the recent lows at 4.30. Still a long ways to go to recover on those highs. BAT, not Batman, BAT USD. Again, a big slide to the downside, but watching it closely. Chart alarm set. Just watching these highs and lows. XLM is Stellar Lumen. This one's doing pretty well. I'm going to set a chart alarm here. I didn't do that on Monday. So 69 cents. I'll go highs here for the alert. And lows here at 38.9 cents lows. And just let me know. If it hits my phone, I'll know what's going on. And then Ripple. Ripple fighting back again. All right, let's get the highs there, 1.98. See if Ripple can break some highs. And this will be recent lows. Okay, so looking for some chart alarms. That's a good thing. Okay, hopefully to the high, so we can continue to manage some nice growth on that crypto portfolio. All right, let's get into some currency pairs. First, let me take a look at the currency strength chart this morning. It's going to pull it up on this window. I've got it on my other screen. So we have, again, vertical axis-wise, pretty quiet. The pound has taken a little nosedive this morning from the high here around 745. The pound has been dropping pretty swiftly. I'll take a look at a couple of currency pairs, but we have the CAD on top, the dollar, the yen on top, the Aussie, the Swiss, all above the zero line. We have the euro, the New Zealand, and the pound on the softer side. I do have a I'm interested in the Aussie yen, but we have the Aussie yen sitting right here at the top. The CAD Swiss, I did make some money this morning on the CAD Swiss. I closed out for about 50 pips on a little scalp on the CAD Swiss. Let me see where that's sitting right now. CAD Swiss is, from current entry, it is up around 70 pips. I think I'm going to go ahead and close that CAD Swiss out for us a win this morning and try to get back in. I think that we're coming back into a nice little pocket area. I said between 74.10 and 74.50 I want to protect some profit. It's Friday. I'm going to go ahead and protect those profits today. Okay. All right. Thanks, Don. Appreciate that. Hey, Raphael, how are you? All good. All right. Let's get into some coins here. Not some coins, some Forex. Let's go Aussie. Let's go Aussie yen. I want to take a look at Aussie yen. So Aussie yen, some decent rejection candles from yesterday to today. I was a little nervous on FOMC because the market was pushing higher, but yesterday's candle did show a nice rejection. I still think that the technicals, we have this run from low to high. It looks like we are trying very hard to form a top. Okay, now I'm not promising that this top is 100% guaranteed because that's impossible, but it does look like this stretched move from 73 to 85. That's a 1200 pip move with very little pullbacks. Okay, so if we form a topping pattern, I think we just come back down to these levels, possibly correct with a high, low, lower, high, lower, low. If we have symmetry on a correction here, I will be taking profit on Aussie yen. I will walk away happy, and this thing can end up coming back for another correction if it wants to, but I'm not going to sit and wait on it. Okay, my plan is if Aussie yen comes down to this low or lower, I'm taking profit. So I am short in Aussie yen, and I'm just hanging on to it, staying pretty patient on it right now. Okay, Aussie dollar. Traders, will you give me a wire? Yes. Are we on? Are we in price? We did not get filled. Never mind. I answered my own question. My robot Price Action Pro. We did deploy the Price Action Pro on the Aussie dollar. It has not been filled. We have it set up to start selling around 78.20 with confirmation. It has not been filled yet. So we are looking for this area right here. If price gets up into this zone, we're looking to start selling the Aussie dollar. So it's right there. And if it doesn't get there, we can also look at a manual trade to just wait for a trend line and take the Aussie dollar down lower. Again, high to low, lower high to lower low. I would be happy with this as a correction. I would be happy with those profits right there. Okay? All right, so I'm going to keep a close eye on some of these Aussie pairs, some of these yen pairs. Another one that I'm in. Took a small trade this week on the CAD yen. Okay, couldn't ask for a better sign. In fact, I'm going to take a short right now. I think this CAD yen is looking prime. I don't see that happen very often. I've got a nice little bar count on the 15-minute. We're at 400 bars. Daily chart, weekly chart. Oh, am I being stupid here? It's I'm gonna sit. I'm not gonna take the trade. All right. I'm tempted. We've got a nice bar count on the 15-minute. I like this daily. This is what I'm looking for. Okay. I see that we have bearish divergence. The market did make some new highs. That's why I'm interested in the trade. Okay. However, I do have a trade in already at 87.70, 87.75. I'm just going to sit on it because I think what we could do here is if this just comes back down to challenge this low, I'll just leave that trade in and take some profit. So I don't need to add anything right now. I'll just wait. Okay. Okay. You did take a manual sell on that right tip. Which one, Denise? Did you take a manual trade in Aussie dollar? Or did you take that CAD yen? Which currency pair are you talking about? Probably Aussie dollar. I was just talking about that one. All right. And then Swiss yen. I'm in Swiss yen. We're at 119.67. I didn't add anything yet. This hit 120 yesterday. I do want to see, did anybody get filled on my Price Action Pro? Who's in with Price Action Pro, and this is up into this sell zone. On a 1-hour chart, we've got to be really close to breaking a trend line. Aussie dollar, okay, got it. All right. So if Swiss yen starts to curl over, we should have some sell trades triggering on the Price Action Pro. We're going to have another monthly target as of Monday. I also think that this is a kind of a final move. This run right to the end of the month, stalling here, and then working its way back down. I think that the Swiss yen can come lower. I think the Swiss yen can challenge these lows. I think the Swiss yen can make a bear pattern. I think the Swiss yen can give us a monster trade to the downside. But we need a lot more confirmation still. All right. So if our Price Action Pro starts to pick up some sell trades, that is excellent. I have a couple of small trades in at 117. Okay, so we've got check the puts on Twitter. Let me see if I got closed out. So Twitter is in profit. Don't you go changing stuff on me, options. So the hard part is I've got two different option legs in. Let me see what these are trading at. Let me get something priced in really quickly. TD. All right. If anyone is watching Twitter, can somebody tell me where we're trading at for Twitter for the earnings plays we took yesterday? I want to see. We've got to be close to hitting that 90% level. Because right now I'm up $1,000, and it cost me. I'm trying to think where we got into Twitter at. So Twitter was 5.2 and then 5.1. So I'm in for like $1,100. So I'm like break even on. That's not right. That can't be right. I'm killing it on two of these sides. I have 8 legs open, so that's what's difficult for me to kind of assess where we're at. All right, what do we have on the questions? Anybody? All right, I'm just gonna check really quickly on these legs. So let me bring this up really quickly for Twitter options. All right, so TWTR. I'll go back to Forex in just a moment here. So we opened at 56.23 or 56 and change. Like, come on, man, that put side's got to close out. Let me go into TWTR. Perfect. Okay, I just closed out. Really? I closed out the 5.7. Hang on a second. That's weird. Close. Let me see where I'm trading at right now. It's trading at 7.30 limit credit, and I think it just closed out the other legs. All right. Ba-boom. All right, full credit on Twitter. That's nice. So let me get this thing to recognize my profit. That's good. Should be closing out here and registering in my realized gain and loss column. So I just had 8 legs close out on Twitter. I will take that. So here's what happened. This was an earnings play from yesterday in our equities on demand class. We got in, the at the money was 65 if I'm not mistaken. $65 was our at the money call and put. We had it bracketed to the downside at 67. We got in at $5.20, and we should have been able to close out above $6. So I put in either the 605 or $6. Anyway, so it should be a nice little chunk of profit. And transaction wise, and I'm just going to look and see if I can find it. So Twitter, all 8 legs. Let me just do some math here. So 211. Okay, plus 892, 16, minus 94, minus 176, plus 894, plus 335. All right, let me see here. 211.65 plus 892.35 plus 16.35 minus 94.65 minus 176 plus 894 plus 3.3 minus 265. Okay, that was a nice little gain. $1,300 on Twitter. I'll take that. Hooray! Everybody wins. So we should have been closed out on Twitter. I'm going to go ahead and make a jump there. Bottom fishing, we just posted that, so we'll take a look at that if interested. I'm gonna wrap up here in about 5 minutes. I know Tyson and I have to meet before I have the 10 o'clock session. So really quickly, update on Twitter. Awesome. Ed closed it out at 610. Fantastic. Did anybody else close out with me at 6 plus? So Twitter. So it should have been like $6 or 6.05 or 6.08 or better. Hopefully or better. Okay, we're looking for full profit, max profit at 6.76, but I was able to get filled on. I know I put in a 605 limit credit on all 8 legs. So Twitter, I'm going to put a note here in my Telegram channel for Equities on Demand. Where is here we go. So here, quick update, protecting some profit. Twitter earnings update. Twitter hit the 6.05 to 6.08, 90% limit credit. Chris's 8 legs are all closed. the 5/7 expiration all closed for 6.08, and the 4/30 expiration all closed for $6. Cool. All right, 605, Sam, good. Buying a couple of the, buy a couple of 2x4s, right? 6.26, Gary, excellent close on that one. Excellent close on that one. Perfect. Okay, fantastic. All right, good stuff. Okay, bottom fishing. If you want some stocks to take a look at this morning, let me get logged into this other platform. I'll log into Smart Trader. You can take a look at it. And I'm going to wrap things up here in about 5 minutes. But I'll throw out, if you're interested in some bottom fishing, if we have anything that looks good, I'll take a look at the time frames and charts. Let me get rid of this one. Wow, Frank, awesome. 6.49 on Twitter. Fantastic. And look, if it continues to get better, again, maybe that 6.76 is our max credit. That's very possible to get filled. So we do have some bottom fishing from this morning. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 different plays, and I'm going to look and see do we have any gaps lower. So first one is PTC. PTC, we did gap lower, so this is a valid bottom fishing. So again, it's we have about 8 minutes before this candle closes. So the rule is this: we have our pattern, we have our close below our bands, we have our gap lower. If this ideally pushes lower for the first candle, we buy and we take it up towards the upper band, but there's also a pretty massive gap up here. So let me just take a quick look and get some context here. I've got a chart alarm triggering off, WY crossing, check the put side on WY. Okay, checking positions, WY. Put side is put side on WY. Did it like barely move? Oh yeah, it's down there 37.69. WY 37.60, 37.76. I mean, we're right there. Come on, put side. What are you doing? Put side is currently up a few dollars. We may not hit our $1.53. Let me see what this whole thing's going for right now. I'm going to double check. So I'm looking for WY right now, and it's currently trading at $1.23. So we're pretty much break even on WY right now, but the put side, if I just did the puts, I can probably close the put side out. Put side's trading for $1.15. So if we want it, and again, we took a put side around 85 cents. That's not too shabby. Like we could make, 30, 40 bucks on the put side right now if interested in closing that leg out. Or we could just try to let it run and see if it pushes a little lower. If it does, then maybe the put side allows our option legs to get into profit entirely. So right now, put side 85. It's up 60 bucks right now if we want to close out just the put side. Well, I'm going to let it run, man. I mean, the whole reason that we put in these 90% targets is because I want to see if my broker can help me manage this trade. I'm not going for the full shebang. I'm not wanting to close just the call side or the put side. Let's try to get that 90%. All right, so I know I'm jumping around here, but good stuff on the Twitter. All right. Come on, WY. Don't be a turd. Make us some money. All right, let's go back to the plays here. So PTC is one potential scalp for today. Again, the only way I'm going to take this is in the next 6 minutes. If it does close lower, I want to see a red candle closing down here. Then I consider taking that trade. The next one is FLGT. FLGT. Fulgent Genetics. This one looks pretty promising as well. Pretty expensive stock. Let's get some context here. Don't just jump into these trades. 15-minute chart. If we zoom out, I mean, again, if it closes lower in the next 6 minutes, this one looks pretty good. If it closes lower, nice and bearish, small trade, all the way up to the upper level. We also have some past support becoming resistance around that $81 to $82 level. So that's a good looking trade. It did gap lower, so that's promising as well. RCL, Royal Caribbean. Oh, I haven't seen one of those in a while. This one gapped lower, but it's starting to fill right away, so I'm not going to take that trade. However, I'll take that back. If it did gap lower, so that's a good sign. But if it runs up to our upper band, it's not valid. So what we need to see Royal Caribbean do is if it gaps lower and pushes, you can see that this is making an aggressive run right now. But if it gaps lower and ends up giving this long wick to the upside and comes back down, we might consider getting back in, but I'm just going to make this decision. If this is my gap lower and it comes very close to our upper target and comes very close to this past support, I'm not going to get in this trade. Ideally, I want to see this thing gap lower, stay lower, and then take the trade, pretty much 15 minutes after the open. I don't like to get in when it's really noisy. API, this is Agora Inc. This one also gapped lower. Wow. So we have valid trades, PTC, FLGT, and API. So if interested, as I wrap up for today's Pulver report, PTC, FLGT, RCL, and API, all gapped lower. Okay, so they're all valid trades. That's a good thing. So we'll continue to monitor these this morning. I should just leave that up there, right? We can continue to monitor these this morning with our equities on demand. All right, so here's the deal. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. Yeah, Ed, that's actually, if you heard about that in the trading room this week, White. Yep. So I'll go ahead and mention that here. Trading battles. Trading battle. So if interested, I'm going to be doing so instead of this session next Friday, I'm going to be in what you see on the screen here, this trading battle. I'm working with 8Cap, which is an Australian broker, Blake Morrow. You might know Blake from FOREX Made Easy. He's been around the game for a long time. He's a great trader. I've worked with him at FOREX Analytics. Anyway, we're going to have a little showdown on Friday, May 7th, and we're going to trade non-farm payroll together, / against each other. So if you'd like to check that out, you can just go to this website, thetradingbattle.com. I'll post this in the YouTube chat right here. So if you click on that link, you can go to watch now and get registered for the event. We will start at probably around 8:10 Eastern time. And it's going to be hosted by either Boris Schlossberg, Kathy Lean, sponsored by 8Cap, Forest Park FX. So I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be a lot of fun. And hopefully a little bit of some price action magic and some robots will allow me to win. So yeah, that'll be next Friday. So I'll make sure that I communicate this next week as well. But this is going to, instead of doing my Pulver report on Friday, I will be live in this trading battle. So what I'd like to do is I'm going to see if I can actually stream through my channel and the 8Cap channel. If we can do that, that would be excellent. If we can't, then I'll just take the recording and I'll post it in my YouTube channel. Yep. So think about this, Janice. We're going to start around 8 o'clock, right? So non-farm payroll is 8:30. We have non-farm payroll news. We have CAD employment. That's next week, 8:30. So we're going to start the session around 8 o'clock, 8:10, and have that little pregame session, get planned, get ready to trade, and then non-farm hits at 8:30. So just think about 8 o'clock. Usually when I run those non-farm payroll sessions or those bonus sessions, that's when we're going to start. Okay? But check it out. It's going to be a lot of fun. And if you want to see some past ones, I know that we had, Boris Schlossberg and Kathy Lean did one as well, but it's going to be a lot of fun. They actually are super awesome. They sent me like a media kit, got a new microphone, new ring light, new webcam. So that was really generous of them. But anyway, I'd like everyone to join. That'd be a lot of fun. Wish me luck. Even though trading's not about luck, I just hope my robots do well. Okay. All right, traders, I'm going to go and wrap it up there for today. We're going to start equities on demand in the next 15 minutes. Good work on Twitter. Let's make some more cash today. Let's see what WY is doing. Let's see what WDC is doing this morning. We have some trades to manage. I just got Johnson & Johnson closed out for a small loss of $50. Okay, no worries on that one. That's fine. That was a power play version 3 from a couple weeks back. That was a loss of like $50, which isn't a huge deal. You have some other power plays that are kicking butt. I also made $75 this week on I made $50 on Morgan Stanley. We're going to close out for $75 today per contract on Lockheed Martin. So one quick stock here, LMT. Lockheed Martin, if we're above 370, and we're killing it right now. So power play version 2 is going to close out for a max credit at $75 today per contract. So that more than makes up for Johnson & Johnson. That's awesome. And Twitter closed out. Nice little earnings cap. I'm up $535 on the day. I will take that all day, every day. Okay. All right, traders, I'm going to go and wrap it up there for my Pulver report. I'll see you back here on Monday for another YouTube session. I appreciate if you smash that thumbs up button for me, like the video or like the link. I am recording this, so I'll also post any notes like the trading battle links, links to equities on demand, webinar information. I'll post that video later on today. If you're in equities on demand, I'll see you at 10 o'clock. Remember, today we have a busy schedule. We're doing equities on demand at 10. We have a VIP call at noon, and I'm doing a bonus session at 4 because we're going to review this power play strategy in full. All right, so make sure you log into that Smart Trader trading room at 10 o'clock for equities on demand. And for everyone watching me just on social media out there, on Twitch, on Facebook, on Dancer, on Prancer, on YouTube, I'll see you on Monday at 9 o'clock for the Pulver Report. Okay? All right, take care, everybody. Talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.